So, in a nutshell, if you're looking for a show that talks about the massacre, that talks about the disaster that happened on 26/11 in Mumbai, then probably this is not that show for you. If you're willing to see the same incident with a new, fresh perspective, then probably you might like it. Why, you ask me? That's why we have this video. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, then hi, this is The Storyteller. Here we review stories in the form of doodling, and if that's something that excites you, then do not forget to hit the subscribe button down below. And also don't forget to drop in your suggestions, because chances are you'll get to see them on a Tuesday in the upcoming weeks. Today we're going to talk about the new web show called Mumbai Diaries 26/11, directed by Nikhil Advani and Nikhil Gonzalez, and having a cast of extremely talented actors like Mohit Raina, Konkona Sen Sharma and Shreya Dhanwantri in the lead roles. Okay, so starting off with the story of the show. If you're watching the show to know more about the events that took place on 26/11, the details of it, see, the story is not about the disaster or the events. Honestly, it isn't. This is a pure work of fiction, and this is a story of the Bombay General Hospital and the doctors at that hospital and what they do, how they survive, and the series of events that takes place during those days of the massacre from the perspective of the nurses and the doctors. See, over the years we've seen multiple movies and different stories of the same event, so this perspective was quite refreshing to me. So see, this show is about the doctors and nurses, the patients, and how they survive this disaster, especially at the hospital. That's the main focus. With the background of 26/11, they do talk about 26/11, but not to the extent that you would want if that's your only focus. Now, coming to the writing of the show, guys, this is a web show. It's a web series, and it is a show about doctors during 26/11. Now, if they had focused on 26/11 and then showed doctors as a part of it, then it would have just been a repetition of the stuff that we've already seen. The other route that they could have taken was probably like how we've seen Western shows like House MD or Grey's Anatomy, where there are multiple episodes, each episode having a new story, each season having a new story. Maybe 26/11 could have been part of one season, but they didn't do that as well. So I guess it was a creative decision to choose the life of doctors, their backstories, all with the backdrop of 26/11. Now you see, if you ask me, having 26/11 as the title of the show, is that misleading? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, it totally depends on you and how you watch the show, from what perspective. Now, another thing that I saw with the writing of the show is, remember, if you've seen Money Heist, especially the recent season, you could see that there were a lot of flashbacks of the existing characters. Now, web shows usually do this so that we can get more episodes. It's just that in this show, every character had some or the other past. I understand that the objective was for us to understand that character, why they are who they are right now, but when it happens for every character, it just becomes too repetitive. It just becomes too long when you watch, you know? Now, that's something I wasn't personally very fond of in the writing. But apart from that, guys, the first couple of episodes are too good. I mean, like I said, it's only when these flashbacks start hitting in when it gets a little repetitive. Also, another thing that kind of put me off were like some moments were just too dramatic for me, like as though it was there for the sake of it, like it wasn't needed. But trust me, apart from all of that, the show is really good. Writing is strong, just little flaws here and there, that's it. I can say that the backbone or the main reason why you should watch this show is the acting and the casting. I mean, for me, Mohit Raina and Konkona Sen Sharma just stole the show for me. I mean, of course, there were other amazing actors, and even the supporting cast was so good. Guys, the number of actors in the show is insane, and everyone did such a job that makes you remember them even after the show ends. After watching the show, all I could just think was Mohit is such an underrated actor. He's just so good. And of course, Konkona just lights up any role that she's given. And actually, everyone's done a brilliant job in acting. But coming to the fact about their characters, like the characterization or the writing of it, I felt some of the characters are very typical. Like there was something diverse about them for the sake of it, like for the story purpose. It just didn't feel smooth, you see. Some characters actually worked because the acting was great, but see, for Konkona, I wanted more from her, but she could only give so much as to what was written for her character, you see. Some characters really are fleshed out, like especially the supporting cast. See, two things. One is like the nurses in the supporting cast, I feel, even though their roles are minor, very, very properly executed. And the other thing is the usage of certain languages, like the Marathi police, the Malayali nurses, or the Punjabi speaking BG. Tiny, tiny moments like when they speak to the people who understand their mother tongue, it didn't seem forced, it looked very natural. The flow of a different language was actually very smooth. All in all, the acting really stands out, guys, and it's definitely a major reason to watch the show. Coming to the technical bits, okay, so a huge round of applause first and foremost goes to the set design and the art direction of this team. The costume that they're wearing with blood splatters, the tiredness of their face, it all seemed so real. I mean, genuinely felt like we were at a government hospital. Coming to cinematography, oh my god, that is all that I have to say. It's absolutely brilliant, guys. I mean, there are these beautiful long shots, no cut scenes. So beautiful, especially when these doctors are running around in this maze of this hospital. The camera work there is so beautiful. Of course, that combined with the perfect editing. I mean, even though I had issues with the flashbacks, I feel the editing of these flashbacks are brilliant. Especially Konkona's flashback. It's a brilliant combination of camera and editing. The perfect cuts of the show genuinely creates anxiety and panic in us while watching. Of course, something that helps with that is the music. The sound design is really great, especially like the rain of bullets, the sirens, the background, everything. And all these four things combined is definitely another reason for you to watch it. Brilliant. I am highly convinced by this show, but if I have to pick negatives, it's just that the show starts off really well, but by the time it ends, it's not with the same impact. I mean, it's amazing at the start, but somewhere at the end, I'm not saying it doesn't have an impact, it has a great impact, but in between something lacks. You know, like I said, it's a little too long in between. Also, somewhere I felt like the show was a little preachy. Of course, it's about a risky topic, I understand that, but some parts just didn't seem smoothly conveyed, like it wasn't natural. That being said, I did learn a lot of messages from the show. Like, one underlying message is that every job is important. Like, even if you're a doctor, even if you're an F&B staff, even if you're a news journalist, everyone's trying to do their job the best with proper conviction. Now, is it in the right way or the wrong way? That's left for us to decide. But what I learned from this is that during crisis, not just the duty of the police or the army to take care of all of us, it's everyone's responsibility. And I think this was a great tribute to all the frontline workers. I mean, right now with COVID, everyone's trying to do their best, and honestly, I felt the show really shows the problems and the struggles that doctors face, especially when there's a public problem like this. We can learn so much of kindness and humanity from the show, and honestly, guys, it's a brilliant show. This has genuinely won my heart. Tiny flaws, yes, but overall I would give this show 4 stars out of 5. I mean, this show is purely amazing based on craft, talent, and it's just amazing. It's definitely a must watch. They did it on a risky topic, and I think they did a damn good job with it. So that's all there is. If you guys have any suggestions for any upcoming shows or movies, do drop it below. I will get back to you with a video of that on Tuesday. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I'll see you soon with lots of love. It's your storyteller. Bye.